Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie Tremblay. I'm Director of Sales at the Crown Plaza, Gatineau, Ottawa, and I'm joined with...
This is Paul Glover, and I'm from the Association of Medical Microbiology and Infectious Disease Canada. We go by AMI Canada.
Paul and I decided this year to change things up a little bit. So we want to introduce you to what is the CMP designation and what we do. We end up by promoting our CMP Boot Camp that will take place in July. So we are all volunteers. I've been doing it for 3 years now. This is my third, almost fourth year. And we now have a CMP subcommittee where Paul and I co-chair. And we are joined by Anne Lamarche, Christine Debut, Emilie Lessard, and newly joined us is Claudia Urrutia from the Westin Hotel. So we're all volunteers, and opinions are our own. Of course, we do know the material, and we do know about the exam, and where our role is to help you achieve your CMP designation by accompanying you in your studies.
I'll just add to that. Certainly the information we provide, study aids, things that we do with our study groups and boot camps and that kind of stuff. Of course, it is volunteer developed, and so we have to say that we can't guarantee success, and that's the most important thing. Is that we want to do our best to help you succeed in achieving your CMP, but really we cannot guarantee your success. That only you can do that through your studying and time spent.
Excellent. What is the CMP program? It's offered by Advanced Industry Council, formerly the Convention Industry Council. Now, you have the website there. It is a diamond of information. That's not how to say it. It is
it's a wealth of information.
Diamond wealth.
Lots of information available there, and really the best site to get the answers from. So if you have any specific questions, they have a frequently asked questions section. Of course, the application itself is available through that site. So certainly, always best to go with what that website says.
So MPI does not run the CMP program, nor do we certify you. All questions should be directed to EIC, or you just go through their website. As we said, it has a lot of information, and the contact information is also on their website. So the Certified Meeting Professional program was launched in 1985, and for 3 reasons: to enhance the knowledge and performance of meeting professionals, to promote the status and credibility of the meeting profession, and advance uniform standards of practice. The qualifications for certification are based on professional experience, education, and a rigorous exam.
Now, in order to sit for that rigorous exam, first you need to know if your application will qualify you in order to proceed to write the exam. And part of the application includes a professional experience section, of which you can choose one of 3 options. The first option is 36 months of professional experience, and this is in a related field, either the meeting, event, exhibition, hospitality, and tourism industry. So this one is pretty straightforward. The 36 months do need to have occurred within the last 5 years. They do not need to be consecutive, and you are required to provide a CV with your application. And if your job titles aren't specifically obvious that they're related to the meetings industry, then it's good to detail your duties, to talk about how they're related, and that they are reviewed for that. Option 2, this is 24 months of experience, so less experience required, but if you have an industry-specific degree, they count that for something as well. So the industry-specific degree is also related to those same fields. The 24 months goes similar to the previous one. The 24 months do not need to be consecutive, but they must have occurred in the last 5 years. Option 3 is if you're an educator in one of these related fields, as long as you have 36 months within the past 5 years, and you can provide evidence of that, including a course syllabus and outline, then you have that option as well. Again, 36 months have to have occurred within the last 5 years. The other component of the application is the continuing education, which can be option 1, 25 clock hours of educational activities, or option 2, an industry internship. For option 1, you must have 25 clock hours, and the EIC awards clock hours on an hour-for-hour basis up to the quarter hour, so a 90-minute session would equal 1.5 clock hours. And they of course can be face-to-face, they can be webinars, they can be classes, individual sessions. These are any kind of continuing education that you do. However, the subject matter must relate to one of the 9 domains of the CMP International Standards, and you will find this information in the CMP Handbook and of course the International Standards itself. It's certainly important to note that you do not have to have educational activities in all 9 areas. One of the updates that came within the last year or so was that of the 25 clock hours needed to be eligible for the exam, 20%, that's 5 hours, they can be in non-industry specific if the learning objective of the activity relates to one of the 9 domains of the CMP International Standards. So if you're attending a leadership course and it's related heavily to project management, that is one of the domains for CMP, that is an applicable activity. The important thing is that in your application you are fully detailed, and we want to stress that you save outlines, agendas, records of attendance. All of these things are going to be necessary not only for the initial application but also for the recertification in years to come. It's good practice to save these things and follow up as needed, because they do require full detailed information. Something that's important and beneficial that's come out is that the CMP Preferred Provider Program has been launched, that if an industry partner offers an educational event that has been pre-qualified to be eligible for continuing education, and you register for that using the same email address that you are associated with your CMP profile, those educational hours will automatically be uploaded to your profile, and you just need to go in and claim the hours that you actually attended in order for that to work. This is a nice system, and it's important to make sure that your email addresses match. If for some reason they don't, then you can still claim them. It's just you have to go around the previous way, where you're documenting everything, giving your attendance records, and noting the titles and sessions that you attended. For option 2, an industry internship, this instead of the 25 clock hours, you just need to show that you have a great deal of experience. For the internship, this includes a maximum of 200 hours in industry-related work. So this could be through a professional organization. It's usually associated with somebody who is doing an industry-specific degree. And in order to receive credit, the application must include a letter from the faculty or the internship advisor certifying that that you've completed the internship and have met the requirements, and this letter must be on official letterhead and signed by the advisor. Very important that you read the handbook and that you follow the steps in making sure that everything in your application is complete.
Achieving the CMP is a 6-step process. Choose the date to sit for the exam. There's 4 options per year. Fill out the application and submit to CIC for approval. Receive approval notification from CIC or EIC, sorry. Register with EIC for the testing window. schedule your exam with Prometric, and sit for the CMP exam. So those are the 6 steps to be able to sit for the exam. And we could add participate into the boot camp as a process, just saying. If we look at a little bit closer, so there's 4 options per year. Of course, there's time this year in August. Then there's November, 1 in January, 1 in May, and then it goes back to August and November. You will see that on 3 different occasions, not only the CMP is provided, but also the CMP HC, and the HC stands for healthcare. When you fill out your application, the one thing that we recommend is you download the CMP handbook from the EIC website. That CMP handbook has all the details. It's the Bible on the application process. Now, helpful hints: don't forget to include a resume or your CV with your application. Only include relevant job experience on your resume. There's $250 US application fee. It's non-refundable. Make sure all your documentation is included with your application. You will not be permitted to send documentation after your application has been received at the EIC office. Now, they are very strict. If you don't have what you need, they won't get back to you and say, "Dear, you forgot something." What's the proper word?
You're out of luck.
You're out of luck. There it is. And also keep in mind that the application fee is $250, but the exam fee is $450, and all in US dollars.
And all non-refundable.
All non-refundable. Once you have applied, you will receive approval notification from EIC. The online application portal has made it possible for EIC to convert to an application audit process in which a specific percentage of applications are randomly selected for an in-depth review. So you need to allow 3 to 5 weeks for this audit to be completed. All applicants are notified via email, not like the picture, of the status of the review. Once you receive your approval email, you may pay your exam fee and schedule a test date. Now, I know from experience, last summer, there were not a lot of options for Ottawa in August, and a lot of people had to either write in August, go to Montreal, and some people even went to Toronto in the fall. So so of course, some dates are preferred depending on the different programs that people are running. So just keep in mind that when, at the beginning we said you need to choose a date. Before you start this whole process, you need to set a goal. If your application is denied, an email will specify the sections in which minimum requirements were not met. If you choose to reapply, you must complete a new application and pay the application fees again. Register with EIC for the testing window. So to register for your exam, as we said, there's a fee of $450 US. Once it's been submitted and processed, you will receive an email with instructions for schedule the exam. And this is an example of what you will receive. It tells you where to go, when to show up, what to do, and it has all the information that you require for that. And this is another. These are all Sandra's, by the way. Thank you, Sandra. And this is the actual confirmation of the computer-based certified meeting professional exam, and it gives you the address. Now, please note that it's no longer on Canatech Road. It's somewhere downtown, I believe.
think it's on O'Connor.
O'Connor.
Could have moved.
And I always recommend once you get this, check out where it is. Like, don't wait the morning of. Do that before. So this is where you will go to schedule your exam. Some weekends are available. I always recommend if you can write in the morning. Right in the morning because you get it over with. And if you are not a morning person, you're better in the afternoon, please take the day off. You've worked so hard and paid so much money for this. I'm sure your boss will appreciate that you need to stay in your bubble, and going to work the morning of is not the best way to be ready for this. And so Paul found this lovely picture. So basically, this is what it looks like.
That is what a prometric testing facility can look like, yes.
Now, we recommend that you plan to arrive 30 minutes before the scheduled appointment because there are a lot of check-in procedures. Paul, can you talk about the check-in procedures?
Yes, in actually researching for this info slideshow, I found that it's even more rigorous. I think that since when I wrote it,
really?
less, like they won't even allow jewelry of any kind in there now, beyond a wedding ring or something like that.
Wow.
They'll take earrings, bracelets, absolutely anything. They run a metal detector over you. You are given a small locker, and they will have that locked for you. But really, you don't bring anything in with you. They supply, I believe, like 2 tissues or something if you need it in a designated spot on the desk. They really make sure that you don't go in with absolutely anything at all.
And if you arrive more than 15 minutes late, they may choose not to seat you if by doing so it disrupts the other exam takers. So please be on time because, again, you need to be in that bubble. You need to stay in that bubble and no stress-free. You're stressed enough as it is. You don't need more stress to be added. So here you have the different domains. Now, as of January of this year, 2017, there's a 10th domain that's been taken away. It was the professionalism. Oh, professionalism. Okay, that's easy. So they took it away, and so now we're down to 9, and these 9 are pretty rough. Now, if you're reading the CMP International Standards is a very good way to understand what the different domains are all about and are part of your readings before you start reading the different chapters that we recommend. A little bit more information on the exam. 165 multiple choice questions. 150 are scored and 15 are pre-test questions. There's 4 possible answers for each question. Now, comments we've received is sometimes it's not fair because there's 2 possible answers. But in that question, there is a key word, either the best or the least. What are the other keywords?
Just the most and something that will specifically identify another answer as being correct. And it's only if you were hanging on that word and you realize that somebody pointed it out for you, ideally at a boot camp, then maybe that might come to mind and say, that's clearly the answer because that operative word is there.
Yes, and they're not tricked. They're situational, but you have to be on the lookout because there's only one best answer. The exam is only offered in English, but if English is not your first language, you can request an extra 30 minutes. This has to be done in your application. You need to write that in there because after that, you can't get it. And most people don't even realize that I'm French, but I am. And if you're in the boot camp, you'll realize that I'm French. But I would say that I'm perfectly bilingual. But when you add the stress, the fatigue, and situations, I mean, this is an international exam. Some questions or some words I had never heard of. So that gives you, like, it makes you nervous. So take that 30 minutes. Even if you say, no, and the proof that you need is normally where you've been to school. So I went to school in French, so I sent out un bulletin. There you go.
Proof of enrollment, or yeah.
Yes, so that's important.
For a note on the 15 pre-test questions, so whereas it's very clear with the 150 questions that have been previously tested, the CMP exam, the EIC has a whole bank of questions that they put into this. And so every single exam is different. They're drawn from this bank, and they have questions that have previously been used and tested, and they are rigorous, and they say these are good questions for this exam. 15 of those are new, though, and they're being tested in that exam. And as it says here, they will not be marked, but they do want to see how well it does. And if people are getting consistently right answers or they're getting consistently wrong answers, they make decisions on whether or not those questions should be included in future ones and be added to that bank. So that's, unfortunately, you don't know which questions those are, so you really have to do your best on all 165 questions.
Mm-hmm. And the results come right away. So your tentative pass or fail are given right away. So at the end of your exam, you have a little clock that ticks while it's assessing your results. And of course, if you don't pass, it'll tell you which domains, in which domains you did not pass. Write those down, because it's important. If you plan on reapplying, you'll know where you need to focus. And if you do pass, you will receive your certificate by the mail a few weeks later. So the CEU credits, where to find them? So you can have them on MPI, of course. Professional development on demand. You have to pay for some. You have to pay for some. You don't. And there are other places that you can find the CEUs, and you just have to keep an eye out for them.
There are lots of CEUs to be had through professional development organizations, and MPI offers a great breadth of education.
You also have scholarships that are available. Now, one of our CMP subgroup committee members, Christine, is our scholarship guru person, because she got a scholarship, and she does have she can supply more information on that. And Sandra as well got a scholarship for her CMM. So we do have more information through that website, and we do have people that you can actually speak with that have gone through that process. I was lucky enough to be to have my employer paid for mine. Paul?
I paid on my own like a chump.
Yeah.
I really wish I had I wish that I had been more active and involved in MPI at that time. But I went for my CMP early, and I wasn't fully aware of these. And it was after I had already paid the application fee and I was already on my way that I attended an MPI Ottawa info session for CMP study group. And that's when I learned about scholarships and grants that I could have had. So I kick myself. But we hope that you don't do the same thing.
And a lot of employers will tell you, go for it. We'll support you. If you pass, we'll reimburse. And if you and a lot of people lately that I've known have not passed, and so they had no one to pay them back. So we recommend that you go for that scholarship. We also recommend a reading list. So these are the 3 books, actually 2 books, and the other one is a glossary available online. Now, the Convention Industry Council, because they switched their appearance or the name of their organization.
I fully expect a new edition sometime soon.
Exactly. And they've also taken out a domain. Mind you, it wasn't a huge domain. So we are expecting a change. However, the domains are still the domains. And the PCMA, now the PCMA book is not the same. So the CIC book works by domain, but the PCMA book is additional reading, but it's not divided through per domain. So there's information all mixed together that you go through, and we recommend to read, a few chapters a week, so that at the end of your readings, you're done reading that book. So it's a little bit more complicated now with the new book, but it's still the information is available, and of course the CIC is the main book to read. So the CIC is available paper format and also an online format, depending on how you prefer to study.
And I might add that the questions on the exam are created straight from these texts. You won't find a question on the exam that you can't find the answer to in one of these books.
So the CMP Boot Camp is something that Paul and I started last year. I started my involvement with CMP where we had a CMP study group that met weekly. Paul was part of the first one that I ever led. I led that CMP group for 2 years, meeting once a week. This year we did something different. We did a study group, but online. I think it went well. However, I didn't find that it offered as much interaction as is required when you're studying. Now, some people don't require the interaction. Some other people enjoy it. Some other people actually need it. So this year we're doing a boot camp again in July, and next year we are only going with boot camps. The study group, as we've known it for the past years, will no longer exist. Now, what is a CMP boot camp? Well, it's a weekend of studying, or where we revise all of the domains. Participants are expected to have thoroughly studied all material prior to attending, and this is to maximize what we share with you during the weekend. So how does it work, Paul?
So it is a full weekend of quizzes, tests, slideshows, and we'll try to be interactive as possible and answer questions in person. So that's really why it's important to have studied before you attend this. It's not like you're going to come in this cold turkey and learn everything. It's impossible. But it is a great opportunity to review, go over any questions that you have, and figure out where you may still need a little bit more studying right before you write the exam. People that take this CMP boot camp this summer, July 22nd to the 23rd, they could theoretically write their test in August if they feel ready.
If they've read.
If they've read, of course.
Yeah.
Not just by having taken the boot camp. That's, again, I say it's impossible. You do need to read those texts. You do need to be prepared for this. But we want you to come to this, get in a great info session, and learn about the domains in a sort of a fast-paced environment, and see where your strengths are, see where you need a little bit more cramming, and that's sort of how we run the CMP Boot Camp.
Some people will do their studying, attend the boot camp, revise where they need to, and then write in August. Some other people will use the boot camp as the first step before they start studying. And that option also works, and then you can write in November or January. Now we are going to have we're planning on hosting a boot camp early January 2018. This boot camp, depending again on how you approach it, you will be able to either write in January or write in May or even in August. So the boot camp last year, we had, I want to say, 10 participants. There were 3 of us. There was Paul and Sandra and I. As Paul said, we have different ways of reviewing the information. We do have quizzes, and then we sit down for a post-exam with 150 questions. So our goal is to prepare you best as we can for either to continue to study or to write for the exam. Now, last year the CMP was here at the hotel. People arrived either Friday or Saturday morning. If we host in a hotel this year, we will try to get guest rooms so that you can remain in your bubble and study, because we do give you homework for the Saturday night, so you can study Saturday night and then be ready to start again on the Sunday morning. It is a full day, so we start at 8 and we finish at 5 on both days. There is a possibility that we might start on the Friday. Paul and I and the subcommittee need to sit down and review the information that we share with during the boot camp. So we might decide to start on the Friday night. But for now, what we're asking you is, if you are interested in attending July 22nd, 23rd boot camp, we ask you that you email Larissa at admin@mpiOttawa.ca and express your interest. There will be a cost, and this cost depends on how many people are joining. Also, food will be included, so no need to bring your lunches. The only thing we want you to concentrate on is the domains and the boot camp. If you have the books, we ask you to bring them. If you've started your studying and you have flashcards, we ask you to bring them. You bring whatever you want. So, and information is provided to the ones that will be registered with all the information on where the boot camp is hosted and what you need to bring.
We hope to see you at the CMP Boot Camp, and if not, we hope that you still consider applying for your CMP, and very good luck to you in studying.
If you need more information, do not hesitate to reach out to Paul and I. We will give you our email addresses.
Email addresses will be available in the description for this video.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.